Did you know that Iga Świątek and her sister deprived us of another Serena and Venus kind of dominance? In today's video, we're going to take a look into the life of Iga Świątek, specifically her relationship with her family and her coach, further looking at how they've made her the superstar that she currently is. So sit back and relax as we bring to you the tennis wonder girl that is Iga Świątek. Iga took over as the top-ranked tennis player in the WTA after Ashley Barty announced her retirement and left the position. On May 31, 2001, Iga Świątek was born to her parents, Tomasz and Dorota Świątek, in the city of Warsaw, Poland. Her mother, Dorota, is an orthodontist, and her father, Tomasz, competed in Olympic rowing competitions in the past. Her older sister, Agata, attended the Medical University of Lublin in order to pursue a dental degree. Now let's dive into the family of the star, beginning with her mother, Dorota Świątek. Dorota, as an orthodontist, currently holds a position at Warsaw Medical University, which is also where she received her doctorate. She's a member of several different scientific societies, in addition to being the author of many scientific publications, and she has a wealth of knowledge pertaining to her field of work. Dorota does her best to avoid the public eye, but she takes an interest in and actively supports her daughter's professional endeavors. Following the 2021 French Open, she broke her usual protocol and gave an interview to Super Express. She explains that, "My approach to her sport has always been, no matter what results you achieve, the most important thing is the style. Style is definitely something Iga has, as she utilizes it in making the thought of winning so hard for her opponents." Wouldn't you say her mom knows her well? On the other hand, Iga's dad used to be a rower and competed in the men's quadruple sculls at the 1988 Seoul events. He and his team ended up coming in 7th place overall in the competition. However, they won the gold medal at the university a year before competing at the Olympics, and they have competed in multiple world championships on multiple occasions. Tomasz, who was also an athlete, encouraged both of his daughters to follow in his footsteps and pursue careers as competitive athletes when they were growing up. However, he encouraged them to participate in individual sports rather than team sports so that they could take full responsibility for their achievements and learn to accept both their successes and their failures. This is a really commendable mentality he instilled into his children. Iga, who chose to take after the athletic side of her father, was especially inspired by his encouragement to pursue whatever it was that they did best. Iga became emotional after her victory over Sofia Kenin in the 2020 Roland Garros and thanked her father for being there for her at all times. She went on to say, "He taught me how to be a professional in sports. He also taught me how to be confident on the court." Watching Iga play, wouldn't it be safe to say that she definitely paid attention during her father's lessons? Moving further, Agata was born on the 6th of July in 1998 in Warsaw, Poland. She is the younger sister of Iga. In accordance with her father's wishes, she participated in a variety of individual sports to determine which ones she would enjoy the most. She began her athletic career as a swimmer, but she transitioned to tennis after experiencing difficulties in the pool. This is where Iga's interest in tennis first began to develop. She had a very close relationship with her sister, but she was also a very competitive child. She aspired to be a good tennis player like her sister, and if at all possible, she wanted to be better than her. She admitted at one point that she was never able to win against her sister when they trained together, and the fact that she never did was what inspired her to pursue playing tennis on a professional level. Agata's tennis career was cut short when, at the age of 15, she suffered multiple injuries while competing on the junior circuit. After that, she decided to pursue a career in dentistry like her mother had done before her, following in her mother's footsteps. This is definitely sad, because it seems like we've been deprived of another sisterhood dominance in the world of tennis like Serena and Venus. We'll probably get another in due time. Iga Świątek has collaborated with a variety of different consultants and coaches over the course of her career. Let's take a look back at how far she's come since she first began her professional career. During the beginning of Iga's career, she spent the first 5 years of her professional life working closely with Michał Kaznowski as a junior. During the time they were together, she rose to the number 5 spot on the junior rankings. She won the low-level Grade 4 titles back-to-back when she was 13 years old. At the end of that year, she moved up to the Grade 2 competitions and later the Grade 1 Canadian Open Junior Championship, where she defeated Olga Danilovic in the final. She made her debut at a junior Grand Slam tournament in 2016 at the French Open under his coaching, and she advanced to the quarterfinals of both the singles and doubles competitions before parting ways with Michał in 2016. Following her time spent with Michał, she worked under the tutelage of Piotr Supatowski for a period of 6 years before the two of them went their separate ways. Later on, Iga worked with Nick Brown, a former tennis player and the coach of the Polish Davis Cup team. During the time that Piotr was serving as her coach, Nick was Iga's consultant at the time. She also collaborated with Daria Abramovich, a sports psychologist, who helped her work through the emotional struggles she faced while competing on the court. It is commendable that measures like this were put in place for her, looking at how dominant she is becoming at such a young age. Iga often talks about how much Daria helped her psychologically and how professional she was at what she did. Daria has been employed in the capacity of a psychologist and coach for a total of 12 and 10 years respectively. It's inevitable that she will be successful at what she does, but what is most important is that she was able to connect with the athlete. She reveals that Iga has an understanding of the significance of psychology, mental training, and sports psychology, which has enabled her to flourish in her career. This is due to the fact that she has always had an open mind, the ability to process things, and an openness to learning. Piotr was instrumental in Iga breaking numerous professional ground records and taking her career to new heights. Iga won every single one of the 7 ITF finals she competed in between the years 2016 and 2018, and when she was only 17 years old, she shot up the rankings from number 298 to number 180 in just 2 weeks. In 2019, she made her debut in the WTA and proceeded to defeat a number of the top players that she faced, ultimately finishing the year ranked number 61. She won the French Open in 2020 thanks to his coaching, making her the first Polish player to ever win a Grand Slam title. She also became the youngest player to win the singles title at the French Open since Rafael Nadal in 2005. She finished the year ranked number 17, having won the French Open, and despite having the lowest world ranking of any woman to ever do so in WTA history, the year was really an incredible one for her. By 2021, she was capable of competing in all 4 Grand Slam tournaments and had advanced to the finals of the French Open once again. She did not emerge victorious at any of the Grand Slam tournaments, but she was the only player to advance to the second week of all competitions during the season, and she finished the year ranked 5th overall. After having worked together for almost 6 years, she made the decision to end her relationship with Piotr in December of that year. She stated that it was necessary for her to do that in order to advance to a more recent stage in her life. "This change is really challenging for me, and this decision wasn't easy either," she says. This has got us wondering why exactly she would split ways with someone who has made her as successful as she had become. Following Piotr, she began working with Tomasz Wiktorowski, another Polish national who had previously coached Agnieszka Radwanska. Since they have been practicing in their country home on multiple occasions, it would appear that they have been getting along well with one another. Iga has since then had a perfect record, having triumphed in successive WTA 1000 tournaments. She began her winning streak at the Qatar Open in Doha in 2022, where she went on to also triumph at Indian Wells and the Miami Open. Iga won her 4th Masters 1000 title by cruising to victory over Naomi Osaka in straight sets. The match was won with relative ease by Iga. With her victories at Indian Wells and the Miami Open, she cemented her place in history by becoming only the 4th woman in the history of tennis to ever win the Sunshine Doubles and the first woman to ever win all 3 Masters tournaments in the same calendar year. Iga made the announcement in the beginning that Tomasz Wiktorowski was going to serve as a temporary replacement until she found a permanent coach. However, now that he has led her to become number 1 in the world and have accomplished so much together, it's unclear whether or not she'll be replacing him in the near future. We'll never know, but whatever it is that she decides to pursue, we will always wish her the best of luck. Do you think the duo will continue their impressive run without any hindrance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.